WCLU news coverage of the 2020 general election is brought to you in part by HVAC Services.
Alexa, HVAC repair services, please.
Professional and friendly, great service and great products. If you want HVAC done right, go with HVAC Services.
Home of the same-day guarantee, with heating and cooling coverage on any brand at any time.
Welcome today to our program, Freddie. We're glad to have you in our studio to talk a little bit about your race for city council here. But first, how are you today?
I feel good. You know, beautiful day in South Central Kentucky. Who could beat it?
Absolutely, and the weather lately has gotten really good, so I'm happy about it for sure. And I think it's sailing right into November. Of course, we're still a little ways off, but it's election time, and so that means obviously I'm glad that the weather is matching up with it. To try to get out there. So, talk a little bit about your involvement on Glasgow City Council thus far. I know you've been involved for quite some time.
Was back in the 80s, some. I don't remember how many years, but was happy to serve back then, and then have been on for a while since 2000. And really enjoy serving, really. Talking to the people, finding out about different situations and what the needs are, and having a little vision too.
Sure. And, over the course of those years, being involved in a lot of different things, serving on different boards and just seeing different development. Talk a little bit about some of the high points that you would consider out of the time you've been on the council.
Well, of course, progress comes slow. Planning, involvement of all levels of the government, financial part. Been around for a while since I've seen the development of Plaza Theater. It's one of the things I would think about, and the development of different groups coming and being a part of the arts and music development on that. I think probably since our county is a farming / business oriented area, have been involved shopping at farmers market. I really enjoy that on Saturdays now, even though it's off the square. I'm looking forward to some people that are really thinking about the future and the West Main project. I'm really excited about that, even though we're in the middle of the COVID.
Sure.
Yeah. But there's several. Just folks getting a different perspective. It's a new day, and it's time for new people. I'm getting a little older, but still enjoy being involved.
Sure. So let's kind of on the other side of the interview, if you will, talk about just, you mentioned that you're looking forward to some things, but I think there are still some stagnant issues that are still, floating around. The budget has been an issue, and I guess you could say the city is taking care of that from a small standpoint. Now, I'm sure going to be a continuing problem, but also just looking at other facets. Of course, you've served on the electric plant board in the past, so one of the questions I've talked to all of the candidates about is, given the recent, I guess, analysis by the circuit judge here in Barron County on the position that the council has in connection with that board, would you or would you not support, I know that you all have looked at the removal of some members, whether it's from side A or side B. Do you think that the council should look into that, or do you hold the position that the council should be laissez-faire with the board?
Well, I have served down there, not real recently, but in the past, and when some of the early issues came up on fees and that kind of thing, and so I understand a little bit about that and have voiced my opinion. Sometimes my opinion was not well received, and I understand that we can differ on things that yet still move forward. That's a hard, do I favor getting rid of anybody? I thought at one time I was, and had mentioned to people that I felt like it was a change of leadership would be good. I think that's a good thing in anything, that necessarily just because we've done good 20 years ago, new ideas and new thoughts, a new face a new way to look at things and respond to the citizenship of our city. So I had voiced my opinion that I felt like new leadership was good, not just there, but in other situations. And we have gone through new leadership at the fire department, at the police department, and at the street committee, you might say. And, we've gone through an overflow and a change of leadership and have done it very successfully. So sometimes I would talk personally with somebody about that. I think a new face and new head leadership would be good. I still believe that, although the ones that are now serving on the board, I trust those people to work out some of those details. I don't get involved in that now, and but have said personally and publicly that I think it would be a good time for a new head leadership down there. So that's not a bad thing. You know, we change UK coaches, we change U of L coaches, and the program grows right on. So, but now with the board as the members that are serving down there now, I trust them to work that out. Where that will end up, I don't know, as far as the final issue. But I've been on both sides of the debate concerning should we be with TVA or should we have talked, and I understand that. And so they'll have to work that out.
Sure, and just to clarify your position on that you just said, when you say leadership, you're referring to the actual utility, like not the board members, right?
No, I'm talking about the head leadership.
Okay. And just in that too, of course, so I don't want to spend the whole interview talking about the
Sure.
plant board, but I just
hope you don't.
I just like to touch on the topic because it's of importance to
Yes.
to voters for sure, and just understanding your position, I think. And so moving away from that, you know, when we talk about too, you know, we've reflected on your experience on the council, you know, what you're looking forward to. Talk about what you think might be the reason that you have had success getting elected, and do you think that reflects your character?
I hope so. I hope that's part of it. I hope that people see me involved in the community. In other areas other than just on the city council board, and that I would be faithful in being at meetings and being involved just like the Kiwanis Club or serving at the soup kitchen at Ralph Bunch School down there. Those kinds of things are not necessarily, well, I'm going to do that because I'll get a vote. No, you serve because it's in your heart and you want to help. And so that's probably where I'm coming from. I hope that my service has been an evidence of my heart about the love for our community. Having been born in the county and my dad moving us to town in the mid-40s to late 40s, and my dad was the custodian at the Glasgow City Independent Schools for several years, and so knowing a lot of people, I guess, helps. But, you know, if you're picking up trash along the bypass, you know, that's a good thing, you know.
Sure.
So it's just the day-to-day contact with people in the drugstore, the church, wherever, and them asking you questions away from the newspaper.
Sure.
Or the radio station.
Sure. So, you know, we, of course, I think that you've kind of presented a good amount of information today for us to kind of briefly assess, you know, and for voters to kind of look at everything. But I imagine that you like to foster good communication between constituents and yourself. And so we thank you for coming in today.
My number's in the phone book.
Good deal.
And yes.
Anything else that you'd like to add today?
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and just go vote. Everybody vote. Sure. Go vote. That's so important. And you know, whoever's elected, I believe they'll serve well, whoever that would be, and that's the way we do it in America.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you coming in, and best of luck this November, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Brennan Crane, News Director for WCLU Radio. Thank you for watching this portion of our 2020 election coverage. Visit us at WCLUradio.com and online at Facebook and Twitter for the latest and breaking news updates.